One of the things that I used to do when I taught is I used a blended learning model for when we came back to school, kind of like a checklist, just so students could join my classroom and start collecting information about them. And so the first thing I'd want them to do is join all the Google Classrooms. So I'd put the code here for all the classrooms so then they could join them at their own pace. Then students also completed a reading Brigance and a math Brigance because I needed this for their IEP data. I always wanted to know an interest survey about the students, so I would just ask them different things about themselves and like what their favorites are. And then the next thing I'd always do is get student information. The reason I gather student information is because if I needed to roster students, I have all of their names in a spreadsheet as they fill them out. And so once I have their the different questions that I'm asking them, I can then copy their emails and I could send an email to all of those students. It makes this a lot easier during the school year when you have your students' information from the start. And then they would also do the multiple intelligence survey. They'd write their name on a name tag and just decorate it so I could learn their name. I used to use a technology login sheet. This one's probably no longer needed for my district just because we use ClassLink. So I'd probably say begin logging in through ClassLink. We use Nearpod, but now we use Pear Deck, so I'd probably have to move my lesson. It was just a slideshow for students to go through about different expectations. I might also do a video about the expectations and just put it in Edpuzzle so then students could answer questions along with going over what the expectations are. Then students had to read through the handbook. And then after they were done, students could check out different sites. They could create a YouTube playlist for when they're working independently and they're allowed to use music, or they could read AR. So this is just an example of what I use, and then I like to always put the schedule of what it kind of looked like on a typical day. I hope this was helpful. I really hope you use the student information because it did save me a ton of time. And again, I just made the kids fill out a Google form. Once I get their information, I get the spreadsheet, and I would just copy and paste the template, or I could move it to the CSV file if one of the companies needed that information. All right, thank you.